good, everybody? Welcome back to another My Damn Toys video. Today I am going to be showing you how to make your very own custom elite Kenny Omega. So today, guys, I'm starting off a new video series, and it is going to be on how to create different custom figures. I'm going to cover the parts you will need. I'm going to cover how much the figure will probably cost when it is all said and done, and everything you will need going into making a custom figure. Today's video is going to be about Kenny Omega, but in the future, I'm probably going to do the Young Bucks, Bobby Lashley, all of that good jazz. Go through the entire custom. This is all going to be considering that you already have the paint and paint brushes needed to make it. I'll cover decals probably, and the main focus is going to be the parts, how much the parts will cost, and everything you will need to create the figure. So let's go ahead and get things started. So when you're starting a custom, the biggest thing that you will probably have to start with is the head scan, guys. And for Kenny Omega, that's sort of a two-part project because the hair piece, the top of the head, is also something that you will need. Right here, DDP is what most people use for the hair piece because they have similar tops of the hair, you know, that long curly style hair. And I believe this one is different. This is from his Elite. This is actually from, I did a head swap with my Elite 35 DDP. This is actually the basic series head scan. It would probably still work, but you will need a DDP hair piece, whether it's from the Elite or the basic. You will definitely need that. I recommend the Elite. I just like it better, but that is definitely what I would recommend. What's good about this figure, guys, is the DDP Elite or the head scan. If you were to look it up on eBay to find this figure, you can probably get it loose for around 10 to 12 bucks, sometimes even cheaper. So that's a pretty good price point if you're looking to get this hair piece. You could probably use the head scan as well, but it is not what I would recommend. So for the head scan, I think that a lot of people use a lot of different options. I've seen Ziggler use, I've seen DDP used, I've seen Shawn Michaels, I've seen Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan is the best one. This is a Daniel Bryan head scan from a basic, and I think it works really, really well for Kenny Omega. I believe the Elite 19 is probably the most accurate with a repaint and a few mods, but if you are looking for a head scan for your Kenny Omega, I would definitely recommend the basic or Elite 19 head scans for Daniel Bryan. The basic Daniel Bryan head scan that you will need, guys, is probably going to cost you under 10 bucks. If you look on eBay, they are fairly cheap. I believe the Elite 19 head scan actually runs a bit more. So if you can, I would probably, if you're looking for the lowest price point, I would definitely try to search out that basic Daniel Bryan. But the Elite 19, again, is probably the most accurate. If you can mod the head and, you know, get everything that you need, I would definitely go with the Elite 19 if you're a more, you know, veteran customizer. But if you're just starting off, I would definitely recommend the basic. So getting down into the torso, guys, you're gonna need, there's actually a lot of things you could use. There are a ton of different torsos and crotches and upper legs that you would use, but for my Kenny Omega, what I used was the TNF Macho Man. I know this is not the TNF Macho Man, this is the Target exclusive Hall of Fame, but you see this torso, I think it's the most accurate to Kenny Omega. I think that it looks very nice. It's a good skin tone and everything. The TNF Macho Man actually has a black crotch and black upper legs for Kenny Omega. That's what I use for mine over here. So I just think you can knock out two birds with one stone. You can already have the, you know, the crotch attached to the torso. You don't have to do any torso swaps or any leg swaps or anything. It will already be there for you. And that figure will probably run you around $15 to $18 on eBay. So it's not a terrible choice there. That is definitely what I would recommend for the torso, crotch, and upper legs for your Kenny Omega. So getting into arm choice, guys, I would definitely recommend the basic Billy Gunn arms. I love the way these arms look. I think they're perfect for Kenny Omega. They're not too massive. They're not too skinny. I think they're a perfect representation of Kenny Omega arms. So definitely search out for the Billy Gunn basic arms. If you have that battle pack with Road Dogg, those work as well. If you can't find any of those, any Macho Man arms that don't have, you know, white taped hands or green or anything like that, if you have any white or black wrist tape arms from Macho Man, they will definitely work. But I do, again, recommend the Billy Gunn Basic. I think that figure will probably cost you around $10 or so dollars or less, depending on the seller on eBay and stuff. But that was what I would call for the arms. And finishing off, guys, we have the lower legs, and what I did was I took the lower legs from an Elite 19 Shawn Michaels, which is actually a pretty expensive figure. I would definitely not recommend going out and searching for this figure. I really don't know any figures that are cheap that have the kick pad legs that are in that black, you know. because I actually just had a ton of the Lost Legends series. I don't know how much that figure runs for either. Check around on eBay. I believe it is pretty expensive though. I think they run for more than $20, and that is pretty expensive for just some lower leg pieces. So if you have any extra Shawn Michaels, or you don't mind getting rid of your Shawn Michaels, or maybe you have some extra Daniel Bryan lower legs or something that you could paint up, I would definitely recommend that over using a Shawn Michaels. So I actually just looked it up on eBay, guys, and the Elite 19 Shawn Michaels actually runs for around $19, between $15 and $19. So that is actually a pretty decent offer right there. So if you can hawk that figure down, I would definitely use those lower legs. And I think it is a perfect lower body for Kenny Omega. A few other options you could probably consider, guys, is the Road Dogg Elite. They have the, you know, the loose, tight pants that Kenny Omega wore for the G1 Climax that one year, and he wears it with a bunch of his different attires. So if you have an extra Road Dogg Elite, which is pretty rare, I wouldn't consider it, or I wouldn't do it. However, it is an option if you want to make yourself a Kenny Omega. That is definitely something you could do as well. And last but not least, guys, we have the decals to top your custom off. Obviously, if you paint all of your stuff on, then it won't matter at all. But I believe that you can get any Kenny Omega decals over at Curb Stomp City for like under $5, maybe $7, depending on what attire you want and the shipping and everything. But that pretty much does it for Kenny Omega. But yes, guys, I believe that is everything that you will need to create a Kenny Omega custom. Again, this is taking into account that you have all of the paint supplies, paint brushes, acetone, all of that good jazz. If you have all those things, then this figure will probably run you around $60 to $75, depending on the parts you use, whether the cheaper route or the more expensive route. If you were to go with the Road Dogg legs and everything, I think it would probably run you between $80 and $100. But again, if you go with my formula, I recommend it. I think it is a great formula for Kenny Omega. I think it will run you, again, probably $60 to $75, and that is a pretty good amount for a great custom Kenny Omega. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, if you would like to see these in the future for other superstars such as the Young Bucks and so forth. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more epic WWE and WWE figure related videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.